Hi everyone, welcome to Camp Charlie at Home. And I'm Kate and I'm going to be doing stations with you today. If you don't already have your bag of supplies that you can find inside your Camp Charlie bag, go ahead and get them because you will need them for these activities. During stations today, we're going to talk about emotions. What are some of those feelings we have after a special person in our life dies? Do we feel both negative and positive emotions? So, sadness, anger, confusion, and then you might have moments and bits and pieces of laughter and happiness. And it's okay to feel both of those emotions. That's part of what we'll be talking about today. And keep in mind, I'm just going through the steps of this activity right now, but we'll be diving deeper into some of those feelings and how you felt while doing these activities during your processing portion of the Zoom group today. So the first thing that we're going to create is our emotion volcano. And what I want you to do, if you haven't already, is find your happiness journal. They all look a little bit different, but there's one inside each bag. And you're gonna just take some time, and I want you to first write down any negative or those not so good feelings that you had after your person died. And keep in mind that what one person might find as a happy or positive emotion might be negative for somebody else. So it's okay to put it into both categories if need be. And once you finish with your negative emotions, I want you to go ahead and write down any of those positive emotions. And what I mean by that is, and it sounds crazy to say positive emotions, someone's died, there might be a day where you felt happy, or maybe you had a laugh with a friend. Write that down because it's at any moment since that person died. And it's okay to have both those feelings. I know I've said it before, but it's something that I want you to remember. Once you've had an opportunity to really think about those feelings, maybe get 5 or 6 for each category. If you have more than that, great. You are going to take out of your bag your mason jar. Now, your mason jar is already filled with baking soda, so that should still be inside of it. And what we're gonna do with this is create a volcano. So what I want you to do is get a plate, a tray, something. Paper works as well. It's just an easy way to clean it up. And if you don't have something, it's okay. Just know you're gonna have to do a little cleaning after. And you're gonna just put that on your plate if you have it. And then the next thing you're gonna do is take out your Model Magic packs. And you should have 2 of these, and they're in different colors. Some people have red, some have yellow, some have blue. So I happen to just have white today. So what I already did is I took my Model Magic, there's 2 packs, I squished them together into a ball, and then I rolled them out because this will help us put it on the jar. So I put it on a plate, and you can either use a glass to use as a roller, or I've also have one of these Play-Doh rollers, which is another option to use. I obviously already did mine because I just wanted to speed it up a little bit for this video, but take some time to do that. Smush all that Model Magic up, put some of your feelings and emotions inside of it. Keep in mind that you will not be able to use the Model Magic again after this activity is done because it will be very sticky from the baking soda. So there is another pack inside your bags that you can use and repeat use with. If you like that color better and want to use it for this activity, feel free to do that as well. Just keep in mind you can't reuse this one. In addition, the other thing to keep in mind is that if you are saving any of that Model Magic in the other pack, put it in a Ziploc bag or somewhere that is airtight so that you can keep reusing it. Once it's exposed to the air for long, it starts to dry out and harden up. So if there is a shape or something you want to create out of it, you also have that option to let it dry. Okay, so we're going to take our Model Magic once it's rolled out, and you're going to put it around your mason jar, and that will help create your volcano. And you can kind of shape it so that it looks like a volcano, whatever works for you, because this is your volcano of emotions. And you kind of just smush it on so it stays on there. My recommendation would be to keep the lid on while you're putting it on the outside, because what you don't want to happen is the baking soda to fly everywhere. Just make sure not to put the Model Magic over the lid, because then you won't be able to get it back open. So once you've done that, take a couple minutes, then you're going to just unscrew the lid. Okay, and you'll see and kind of shake it a little bit to make sure all the baking soda is at the bottom in case it's shifted while it's gotten to your house. I'm just gonna move some of this out of the way. Okay, so what we're gonna do next, while we talk about some of these feelings, is pull out your vinegar. So your vinegar is in its own separate bag, has tape on the lid. If you haven't done so, you wanna remove that tape. As so. And then make sure not to spill it on yourself. And you'll have your vinegar and your baking soda. And what you're going to do for this next step is take your vinegar, and I want you to think about each negative emotion you had. So go into your notebook and see what they said, what you have written down. So let's say one of the things that you felt after your person died was sadness. And let's say that's an emotion that you felt very heavily. You're gonna take your vinegar and you're gonna squeeze it as hard as that emotion felt inside your mason jar on top of the baking soda. And what you should see, and I'm gonna take my volcano off so that you can see, is that it's going to start to react. And with each negative feeling, squeeze however you felt it. If it's something that you just felt a little bit, maybe you just give it a little squeeze. But if it's something that you've been overwhelmingly feeling, do that and you'll start to see the vinegar bubble up. Once you get through your negative and then your positive emotions, because you're gonna put them into, I felt happy, I felt laughter, I felt joy, whatever those feelings are, you're gonna start to do that. And when you're all finished, what I want you to do is, you should still have vinegar left in your jar. You might be down here, obviously I didn't do a bunch. You're going to unscrew the lid and you're gonna pour it in and watch what happens with your reaction. And that's when you'll start to see those feelings and all together mixed up, and you can keep putting it in and it'll keep bubbling up. Those are the feelings that you felt. Do you ever feel like when you hold those emotions in that you start to feel them inside and it's a pressure inside? That's why we have to get them out. That's why we have to talk about how we're feeling, good or bad, because we don't want those emotions to get stuck inside. We want them to come out, and it's okay to have a mix of them. It's okay to have good and bad. And again, like I said, we'll be talking about some of this in our processing, so think about how some of that made you feel. And keep in mind, you can reuse these mason jars. If you have baking soda at home, vinegar at home, you can easily keep making them. Obviously, it will keep going until all of the reaction, so feel free to do this a couple times and really think about those emotions as you put it in.